as we try to do things intentionally as a church, like, guys, let's spend the month doing an Advent devotional together. If you don't have a copy of this, like, there's more copies out there. We want to be a people who, as the family, help us walk through a Christmas season that can get loaded with all kinds of things that aren't Christ, to be a people that help us focus on Christ. And so as a church, we want to do a Christmas Eve service this year. Our Cape campus is going to come here. They're going to join us December 24th, Christmas Eve, and we're going to do it at 4 o'clock. And so we just encourage you now, as like you're making your rhythms and family plans, and some of you will be traveling and you'll already have commitments, and that's fine. But if you're here, we just encourage you to use that as a time to invite others and yourselves to be reminded of the gospel, and to be reminded of the greatest gift as we move into a season where we end up receiving a lot, but also the joy of giving. So one of the things we're doing over Advent is there's an organization called the Bible Project. And the Bible Project makes a lot of videos and a lot of content that is really helpful for grasping themes and pictures of Scripture. And so we're going to play the video that they created on Peace today, and then I'll continue to teach from it.
The word peace is common in most languages. People can talk about peace treaties or times of peace. It means the absence of war. And in the Bible, the word peace can refer to the absence of conflict, but it also points to the presence of something better in its place. In the Old Testament, the Hebrew word for peace is shalom. And in the New Testament, the Greek word is eirene. The most basic meaning of shalom is complete or whole. The word can refer to a stone that has a perfect, whole shape with no cracks. It can also refer to a completed stone wall that has no gaps and no missing bricks. Shalom refers to something that's complex with lots of pieces that's in a state of completeness, wholeness. It's like Job, who says his tents are in a state of shalom because he counted his flock and no animals are missing. This is why shalom can refer to a person's well-being. Like when David visited his brothers on the battlefield, he asked about their shalom. The core idea is that life is complex, full of moving parts and relationships and situations, and when any of these is out of alignment or missing, your shalom breaks down. Life is no longer whole, it needs to be restored. In fact, that's the basic meaning of shalom when you use it as a verb. To bring shalom literally means to make complete or restore. So Solomon brings shalom to the unfinished temple when he completes it. Or if your animal accidentally damages your neighbor's field, you shalom them by giving them a complete repayment for their loss. You take what's missing and you restore it to wholeness. The same goes for human relationships. In the book of Proverbs, to reconcile and heal a broken relationship is to bring shalom. And when rival kingdoms make shalom in the Bible, it doesn't just mean they stop fighting, it also means they start working together for each other's benefit. This state of shalom is what Israel's kings were supposed to cultivate, and it rarely happened. So the prophet Isaiah, he looked forward to a future king, a prince of shalom. And his reign would bring shalom with no end. A time when God would make a covenant of shalom with his people and make right all wrongs and heal all that's been broken. This is why Jesus' birth in the New Testament was announced as the arrival of eirene. Remember, that's the Greek word for peace. Jesus came to offer his peace to others, like when he said to his followers, "My peace I give to you all." The apostles claimed that Jesus made peace between messed up humans and God when he died and rose from the dead. The idea is that he restored to wholeness the broken relationship between humans and their creator. This is why the Apostle Paul can say Jesus himself is our eirene. He was the whole complete human that I am made to be but have failed to be. And now he gives me his life as a gift. And this means that Jesus' followers are now called to create peace. Paul instructed local churches to keep their unity through the bond of peace, which requires humility and patience and bearing with others in love. Becoming people of peace means participating in the life of Jesus, who reconciled all things in heaven and earth, restoring peace through his death and resurrection. So peace takes a lot of work, because it's not just the absence of conflict. True peace requires taking what's broken and restoring it to wholeness, whether it's in our lives, our relationships, or in our world. And that's the rich biblical concept of peace.
I'm thankful for the Bible Project and how well they share deep, rich, and truth of Scripture in a concise way. I love the idea that like true peace requires taking brokenness and restoring it, right? It's more than this absence of conflict, but the idea of peace brings reconciliation with God, with ourselves, and with others. And so just as the Bible Project took a really big idea and walked through it through all of Scripture, I want to walk us through this morning the idea of peace from the story of God. I want to walk through our story symbols. And our reason for this is because when we're getting to ideas in Scripture that teach us deeply, because the reality is, like, friends, like, we need peace so badly. Like we are a people, we are a culture that needs reconciliation with God. We need reconciliation with ourselves and with others so deeply that I want us to be able to see it and walk through it through the whole story of God. And so if you've been with us a while, you know these symbols. If you're new to us, these are what we call the story symbols. The story symbols are a tool for us to think through ideas of Scripture or just the whole story of God. In 6 symbols, you can share the whole story of God. So I'm gonna see if our church can do it. Do we know the symbols? All right, what's the down symbol? Creation. Okay, and so guys, this is such a helpful tool for you to both learn to share the gospel with others, but then to also process Scripture. And so on a napkin, wherever you're at, you tell the story of creation, the down symbol. What's the X? Rebellion. What's the over? Promise. One of us. Promise. What's the fourth one? We call it redemption, right? So redemption, and then what's the other over arrow? The church. And then what's the next down arrow? Restoration. Okay, so we don't know them, but they're super good. That's what I want. You guys know this. Guys, we have them on like the front wall of our building, right? Like we teach them because it's a helpful way to remember